The more things change, the more they stay the same. Pakistan, after all the changes, all the chopping and changes, everything else are in the exact same position as they were in 2019, requiring an impossible win against England, not Bangladesh. England, although probably England have been like Bangladesh in this tournament. I've got Mr. Kudrat here with me. I don't know what's prompted the name change because everything that happened today, and well, not just today, let's be honest, over the past few weeks has been, well, in line with the Pakistani Kudrat, but not the one that we were hoping for.
I was thinking today, if I were Kudrat, if Kudrat was a being, if Kudrat was an entity, what would Kudrat be telling Pakistan right now? What I'd be telling Pakistan is the real Kudrat ka nizam is, if you play well, you make it into the semis. If you don't play well, you don't make it in the semis. That is the real Kudrat in cricket or in any sport, right? So,
Win your own damn games.
yeah, win your own games. You have got the same number of games as everyone else. Okay, I know we love conspiracy theories in Pakistan, we love them, but here there is no such theory. We literally lost because we lost to Afghanistan. People will talk about that LBW decision. Yes, but at the same time, we got saved by the rain against New Zealand. Anyone who can, with a straight face, tell me that we were going to chase down 400, I'm sorry. It takes three bad overs to completely kill the chase. And
Three
we
bad
got
overs.
lucky there.
We've taken one Fakhar Zaman wicket,
One
and that
bucket
was it.
Zaman wicket, one bucket Zaman, and then a labored Babar innings. But look, so let's face it, right? We weren't completely unlucky. In certain phases, we were quite lucky, right? And it all balanced out to what I think is a fair assessment of the standings of your main teams. We are the fifth best team. We are not in the top four. We weren't 4 years ago. And we might have argued 4 years ago that there was injustice due to rain. But the fact that the exact same thing has happened 4 years later tells you that there must be some truth behind it.
Disappointing. But there's always that random hope. I don't know why. It always creeps through. The New Zealand game should have just finished. Pakistan should have lost by 20, 30 runs, and then that would have just put us to peace there and then.
I think the general feeling, I think we'll all really be honest here, as Pakistanis, the real feeling is a bit of relief, right? It's almost like ripping a band aid off. You felt like it was coming for so long. We got one extra um, week of this because rain helped us, but we all felt that there was an inevitable conclusion, right? That we didn't want to accept. And finally, all the stress, all the permutations, all just get ripped off like a band aid, and it's done. The load is off, as if we had any stakes in this, anyways. And now we can just relax.
It is what it is. But I mean, look, this episode we can probably have a detailed post mortem post the Saturday game. I guess the idea is just to see what Pakistan can do on Saturday. What can they get out of it? Fifth place now, just that derby against Afghanistan. Who's going to finish above the other? That's probably the only thing Pakistan are playing for. A bit of pride. But if you ask me honestly, I don't know. I mean, this team will probably be not very motivated. England have shown some form, so it might be actually a good game. Nothing to lose for both teams.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's a shame it's a dead rubber. I think this is a scheduling issue. Well, it's not an issue. It just so happens it's turned out like this. I think the organizers would have wanted it to be, worth more because the Sunday big game, India Netherlands, that is the absolute big game. So they wanted another few big games in the lead up. Look, it's going to be a bit of a dead rubber. We were talking in our previews that, you know, hopefully this game will be important for both teams, but we think it'll only be important for one. It's important for neither. All right. Pakistan have an outside, I don't even want to call it an outside chance, but obviously it's very simple for them. They have to win the toss and bat to even give themselves a 0.1% chance because I think chasing in 3 overs is a bit difficult. So they're going to have to bat first. Okay. And I don't think there's anything much they would change other than probably bring Shadab back in if he's fit in place of Haris Rauf or Hassan Ali, depending on fitness. Personally,
Mm.
Haris Rauf has been so ordinary. I would just completely drop him. and get and have Hassan Ali in and Wasim as first change. But it could be my anger talking, so I leave it to you, Zahir, to correct me if I'm not being rational here.
I would completely agree. In fact, I would be tempted to see if what conditions Shadab is in and maybe just replace him for Abrar. Just give the guy a run in an ODI if Shadab is like still not recovered from his concussion. Obviously, if he is, then you can't do that. But that's something that I think they can go down. It it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But if I had to, I would not play Haris Rauf. Just give him a rest, as they say. Got a big series against Australia coming up, so why not rest him for that instead?
In 4 months.
And
No, in 2 months. Sorry, in two
no,
months.
in
It's
in a
test.
month and a half.
Yeah, yeah, but
Yeah.
it's test. Isn't it the first test? I don't think Harris will play that though.
No, but Haris Rauf has shown such great T20 form and such great ODI form that you have to play him in the Test matches now, right? That's how logic works in Pakistan cricket.
Yes, of course.
The
Oh,
only thing I
and
would
you play Harris?
no, well, if Shalab is fit, yeah, I'd probably drop Haris and I'd play Wasim Hassan and Shaheen. The other thing I would do is with the bat, I would just send Agha Salman higher up the order just to give him some time in the middle because the guy's played 2 matches and not had a bat yet. So just for the sake of it.
Look, I think ultimately we keep saying this, and look, if we want to just be what broadcasters would be, we say, oh, there's a lot of pride at stake. Oh, we want to show everybody that, we are still one of the world's top teams, whatever the hell that means, and we're still around there. I would find it very difficult to motivate the Pakistani team. What I would say is simple, okay? If we bat first, I want them to try and aim for 400. I don't care if they're all out for 150. It doesn't matter. Okay? The last thing I want to see is a 280, 290 or 50 overs that gets chased down in 30 overs by England. I I, I don't want to see that. You are proving nothing to anybody.
Yeah, just bat first, get out early if you have to. At least give the rest of the fans a good Saturday to enjoy some time off, rather than trying to have a laborious 280, 290, and then get chased down
Yeah,
as painful 8 hour game. Just or give it a go and score 500 or whatever 450, and
exactly.
still letting Lynn chase it down in 48 overs. But anyways, um, I'm gonna say you talk about motivation and pride and stuff. I mean, I'm trying to not criticize them too much because it's Pakistan's fault. But you saw what Sri Lanka did today. I mean, they were playing for pride as well. They had nothing to play for. Maybe a Champions Trophy spot, so that's pretty significant. But they absolutely crumbled. They just didn't seem like they wanted to be there. They're like, we just want
They
to
were
catch the next flight
hopeless.
home.
And this was Bangalore. Let's not forget, this is Bangalore. It was as flat as you could get. Pereira shoot you have flowers, but the shot selection, the crazy, crazy things that they were doing, it was almost as if they just literally, as you say, they wanted to get the next flight home. They had no purpose.
Exactly.
Even Mendes in the post match said, "Oh, we lost a bit too many, a few wickets too many, a few wickets too many. You lost half your side." And he's like, "Oh, we just needed one good partnership, and we could have got to 300." See, I mean, if you thought it was a 300 plus score, why didn't you play like that? It was quite baffling, right? And New Zealand, credit to them, they were so calm under pressure. Now, think of how tough it's been for New Zealand. If
Yeah.
that happened to Pakistan, we'd be like, oh my god, classic Pakistan. From the chaos comes greatness. Injuries. Captain had a freak injury, like fracture. Losing 4 losses on the trot. It's actually quite Pakistani. But
Yeah.
their response wasn't Pakistani. Their response
Yeah.
was classic, clinical, calm, and composed. Kane Williamson
Yeah.
2.0.
Yeah.
And it was
But
brilliant.
but look, I mean, it was very New Zealand as well, because they beat everybody who you would have expected them to beat, and they beat one more, England. England and South Africa probably the two games that you would have thought they would have probably won one and lost one. Probably the other way around if you would have asked me before the tournament. But still, and they did the bare minimum, won their 5 games, and now they've set up a semi-final, which they will let India walk all over them. But anyways, that's a chat for another day.
But I thought it was also like credit to New Zealand. Sri
Yeah,
Lanka did hand them on a silver platter. But I mean, look at someone like Mitch Santner. You're like,
yeah,
that guy you think has nothing. Does he have crazy talent and like one world class potential? No.
yeah,
But he knows his limits, and he's so effective. I mean, Mohammad Nawaz should watch that guy. It's
Exactly.
basic stuff, and he gets it so right. I mean, I missed Imad Wasim because I consider them to be quite similar. But it was like the way he was inducing those outside edges. And I don't know whether you noticed this, but there were a couple of deliveries where instead of going over his shoulder, he went a bit round
Yeah,
arm
round
action
down. Yeah.
just to get that different angle, and that actually caused wicket. I mean, these are like you realize that a bowler can change so much if he's thinking clearly, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be like the magic ball. It's just the little
Yeah.
thing.
And the thing is, he had a bad game against Pakistan, right? He got whacked around by Fakhar Zaman and co.
Yeah.
But it's not like he came in this game and he came to this game. He's like, I'm going to start darting it in and start bowling those fast Yorkers or whatever. He still kept his cool and kind of bowled those.
Yeah.
He has the one or two loopy balls that he bowls to tempt the batsman, or like you said, he was a bit mixed it up with some round arm deliveries. And again, that just shows, and that's something that only comes with practice and experience.
So and the funny part was the number of Google searches for Bengaluru weather went through the roof. 230 million people in Pakistan and also Afghanistan actually were all hoping for this, right? But the rain stayed away. It didn't come. It didn't help us.
The rain had its own Kudrat ka nizam.
It had its own Kudrat ka nizam. It came everywhere else. It came, but it didn't come there. I think the more interesting game, just to touch on, was brilliant Glenn Maxwell.
Of course.
Now,
of course.
Zahid, everybody lost hope at 90%. And I wrote on our WhatsApp, I'm like, I still haven't written Australia off. Because I feel if ever there was a country that understood what it meant to win from any situation, if you're Australia, it's Pakistan. I don't know how many times we needed to happen to us before we realized that Australia are winners by DNA. They can win from anywhere. So even at 90%, I'm like, I still haven't written them off. There was something in the tank. And it wasn't just something. It was let's be honest, it was the greatest ODI innings of all time. I mean, the
greatest innings in all format cricket, I would say.
No, I would say in all limited overs format. I think Test is quite tough to compare due to different situations, but I would definitely say limited overs. But yes, you could even argue all format. You could argue that. I mean, the guy was on one knee.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, taking all that into account, injuries and whatever, even excluding that, to score
200.
Double 100, exactly. A double 100. Coming in at number 6 when the team's already 50 for 4, right? When he came 49 for 4 or 240 runs scored. He's chasing 290. And he scored 201 of those 240 runs that was scored.
And that's incredible. Yeah, and don't forget, this is a world-class bowling attack. It is world-class. Yes, they made a selection error in playing an extra spinner, but hindsight's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Ultimately, he was brilliant. It was all hand-eye coordination. I mean, and you always thought, okay, it'll last. Okay, it's a nice little cameo. It'll end somewhere. But when it got to 60 runs, and you're like, and then you think, as you get closer, the pressure starts building. Because initially, you're thinking you're so far away, you're playing a ball on its merit, you don't think about the total, the target. And then suddenly you're like, I'm close. I was expecting a Wahab Riaz dismissal. Remember Taunton, Somerset, where we got closer and we just got capitulate under pressure, but they just kept their cool. And I give so much credit to Pat Cummins. Cummins, the captain, the other end, that 12 not out is better than every Babar Azam half century in this World Cup. It's better than every Imam ul Haq 30 or 40 in this World Cup. That's what wins you games. You play the game according to the situation. He did 1-4. He hit. Because he said, I don't need to do anything.
That was his third ball, actually. Second or third ball. He was 4 of 3.
Yeah, probably he thought it was like game over. Okay. And he's like, you know what? But it is brilliant, And for me, I think this Australia team, I think they could go all the way. I wouldn't be surprised if Australia win this World Cup after being 2 losses down at the start.
I don't think it's ever a surprise in any form of cricket now that Australia won a World Cup. So you can never write them off. Look, absolutely. I mean, that innings. And the other thing is, look, again, sorry to bring the comparison to Pakistan, but that's just how we roll. If this was any of the other, our supremely talented tail end batsmen that we have that were lauded before the tournament. 68 balls, they would have swung ball 7, ball 8, and then and that would have been it.
Yeah, and they'd come back into the pavilion and say, "Oh, koi baat nahi, nice
Yeah.
try, good try, Hassan." And Hassan Ali thinks that his only job is, I mean, you're not Shahid Afridi. Okay, there's a situation to be played. When you were 180 for 7 or whatever against India, there was a situation to be had. Okay, you
Yeah.
may still have lost the game, but if you had 250, 260, at least you had something to bowl at, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think
And you could have still
I
been in a tournament on those bases, on that basis. But anyways,
Yeah, you of course run rate. Yeah, I mean, look, it's these little things that count, and we say this time and again. I don't think net run rate is ever Pakistan's friend, and that's not because net run rate has anything against Pakistan. It's because Pakistan wake up too late. We do this
yeah,
every tournament. We wake up too late, and then we hope for Kudrat ka nizam to really come good. Let me just tell you something, okay? We talk about Kudrat ka nizam all these times. Kudrat ka nizam has come. It's come. We had the highest chase. We beat a team and improved our net run rate after that team scored 400 against us. There's not much more kudrat you can have in your life,
yeah,
okay? And
easy.
ultimately, when you have a situation where your top batter, okay, your top batter is number 24 on the list of highest run scorers and has the third or fourth worst strike rate. I think there are three Afghanistan batters who are lower than Babar Azam. That tells you all you need to know, okay, about Pakistan's fortunes. I'm sorry, Babar. I really want you to succeed, but I think you have failed on a very big stage, right? And that stat, I give a shout out to my brother-in-law actually, um, who gave that stat to me before, so I take no credit for that. But like, in any case, let's think about England for a second, right?
Yeah,
England found some semblance of groove against the Netherlands. You know, England are a team that obviously can't wait for this World Cup to end, right?
yeah.
It's been a horror show for them, for Joss Butler. You know, it's gone against expectation. I think they have something to play for. They want to leave the tournament to say, you know what, we've won, like winning 3 games out of 9. I know it sounds stupid, but like it's way better than 1 game out of 9, which is what was the case 3 days ago.
If anything, it'll mean England are on 6 points, which puts them a notch above the Netherlands, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. So if
Yeah,
anything, for them, that's the one thing. Otherwise, they'll probably qualify for the Champions Trophy on run rate in any case now. But if they end up having 4 points, then they'll always be like, you have the same number of points as the Netherlands, and that's
yeah,
that.
and in fairness, if you think about it, like look at Joss Butler. Every press conference, he took responsibility. He put
Yeah,
his hand up, and he literally said, "I am." He literally said, "I am to blame because I have not delivered," and that's a huge, huge driver of why we have performed the way
Did
we have.
you did you hear what Moeen Ali said? I mean, imagine if someone in Pakistan would have the guts to say that. He's like, "We're too old. We need to be replaced. That's it. The young blood needs to come in." They've been very very open about it. Whereas Pakistan, yeah, boys played well. We worked hard. Things didn't
No,
go
we couldn't
against
get the
us. Things.
partnerships. We couldn't build the partnerships in the middle. I mean, yes, I know we couldn't build the partnerships, but like it's because
Yeah,
at no point has Barber. I just wish, and look, I fully appreciate that there is a bit of a language barrier, but it
yeah,
doesn't take long to just literally say, I take responsibility. I have not delivered. I have not been up to the mark.
yeah.
He has not said that. He said a couple of times the bowling was not up to the mark. I think he said it against Afghanistan. Sure, but against South Africa,
No.
did he mention his batting? He mentioned overall. I think he made a general comment, but take personal responsibility. Moeen Ali said also this: the writing was on the wall and we just didn't see it. I mean,
Yeah,
like that's a pretty, but there is so much raw honesty there. And it's easy to
exactly.
back a team like that. With
Yeah,
Pakistan, these press conferences with Mickey Arthur going and complaining about like how it's been like COVID and how it's been this in Pakistan. You ask for the security, it's for your own safety. Every team that comes to Pakistan needs to be given. Come on. Like,
yeah,
just say we haven't done well. We realize that we haven't prioritized the game. and we are well behind the 8 ball, and our
Yeah,
top players haven't delivered. Simple, done. You know, but
exactly. Yeah.
any predictions
Anyways,
then for the sort of the inconsequential game that will happen? I'm sure we'll all wake
um,
up with that little bit of hope, but but
no,
please go.
I really value my Saturday mornings now, given the last four have been
Very much
destroyed.
so. Very much so.
um,
Um,
but
you go.
look, I mean, does it really? I think England to win. I think Pakistan will try and go too hard, and they will falter. Babar Azam to score, top scorer for Pakistan. Shaheen Afridi, David Malan. Actually, no, Joe Root always scores against Pakistan. We never get him out. And in the bowling, I don't even know who the English pacers are going to be. Adil Rashid, Brisbane.
It's very similar to you. I think England are definitely going to win. Okay. And we think we're very good because we beat three weak teams and we're helped by rain. England will just show us that we are not even number 5 or number 6. We're probably 7 in honesty. But England to win, I think it's going to be. I'm going to say Fakhar Zaman. I think he will go hard early, and then everyone will think they can go hard, and then everyone will realize that they can't go hard. So there we go. And then and then the bowling, I'm gonna just back. I think honestly, I'm gonna just back Muhammad Wasim. And on the bowling, on England's side, I think it's Ben Stokes. We also don't get him out in big games. Big games. Big games. How big is a dead rubber in a World Cup going to be? And then, yeah, Adil Rashid, that's an obvious choice, wrist spin.
Yeah.
But the one thing I will say, I was right. I'm so glad I wore my Pakistan jersey on Saturday last Saturday. I knew that that was the last time we were going to celebrate. I had a feeling, and it.
The only thing I'd say before we finish it off, as you were doing the predictions, a thought just crossed my mind. I feel sorry for someone who this game is perfect for, Mr. Imamul Haq, who will unfortunately probably miss out on this game. But a dead rubber in a World Cup, this was perfect for him to get his 80 of 90 iron balls.
Oh, his second 100 even because he got his
His
first
second
100 in the
100.
deadest of rubbers at Lords. Okay, yeah, but he's not gonna play, and I hope he doesn't
There you
play
go.
for a while. Look, so there you have it, right? After almost 4 weeks of highs, lows, and let's be honest, a lot of torture, mental harm, and a need for all of us to go visit our therapists. We have come to familiar territory. We've got a dead rubber on Saturday. We have a very academic chance of making it, but it's only academic, and we only have ourselves to blame. Kudrat Ka Nizam is finally done, and hopefully we get to wake up after this tournament. But nonetheless, we'll still be here for the match review as well as a post-mortem of Pakistan's World Cup campaign. Please stay tuned and please keep supporting us. We'll see you on the other side. Thank you.